We're cutting across to the big news break that's coming in of CBI searches being conducted as we speak on Karti Chidambaram's residence and properties. 7 locations that are being raided, and we're getting you details about the allegations that Karti Chidambaram faces. Sources have told us that right now the reason Karti's properties are being raided, being searched, is because Karti Chidambaram was allegedly involved in facilitating visas to Chinese workers for a big conglomerate in lieu of a bribe. This is the allegation against Karti Chidambaram, based on which the CBI has filed an FIR as well. And it's in this case now that searches are being conducted. Karti Chidambaram has also reacted, putting out a post on Twitter, and I'm reading from that. He said, "I've lost count. How many times has it been? Must be a record." So that's a one-line statement that's coming from Karti Chidambaram, referring to the fact that he's time and again faced the scrutiny of the CBI, faced these kind of raids in the SL Max's case, the INX Media case, and now the latest, the allegation we're telling you here on India Today First, is that Karti Chidambaram allegedly was involved in facilitating visas to Chinese workers for a big conglomerate in lieu of a bribe. We're also trying to reach out to Karti for a statement. We're being told that he's currently in London, so we're going to reach out to him also to get you more details of what he has to say on this. Let's take this across to Gaurav Bhatia of the BJP. Gaurav, good morning. Searches as we speak by the CBI at Karti Chidambaram's residences and properties. Karti has put out a one-line statement saying, "I've lost count." This must be a record of how many times I've been targeted.
Congress and the Chidambarams have become synonymous to corruption. And the CBI is doing its job. The country is looking for answers, and we have also lost count to the number of corruption cases that have been filed against these corrupt people because they were looting the country rather than serving the people of the country. And I must say that the CBI is doing its job phenomenally well, and it is in line with the policy of the government that there would be zero tolerance for corruption.
Essentially, at this point, Gaurav, we're awaiting a reaction from the Congress, but almost every single time when it's these kind of cases, sensitive cases involving an opposition leader, the charge from the Congress is that this is politically motivated, that the CBI is going after their leaders.
You know, this is completely unacceptable, because the media should be asking them that show one judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court or the High Court where Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, even Robert Vadra, P. Chidambaram, Karti Chidambaram, Mr. Huda, they've all cried foul and said that this is political vendetta. But is there even one judgment where the proceedings have been quashed by a competent court? And the answer is no. That clearly reveals the kind of corruption that was taking place during the UPA regime.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. So the BJP is saying that this is clear proof of the kind of corruption by the Congress time and again. Karti Chidambaram under the scanner. What you see on your screens there are the first images from Karti's residence in Chennai. This is in Nungambakkam. Outside his residence, you see some activity, officials outside. Karti isn't at his residence in Chennai or in Delhi. He's currently in London, from where he's also put out that tweet saying that this must be a record, the number of times that these kind of raids and searches have happened. Let's take this across to Munish Pandey to identify and find out more details about exactly what's happening. Sources have told you, Munish, that this particular case, the allegation against Karti is that he was involved in facilitating visas for Chinese workers for a big conglomerate for a bribe.
Yeah, well, Lakshita, what we have been given to understand is that there was a preliminary inquiry on the allegation that Karti Chidambaram was involved in facilitating visas to some Chinese nationals for a particular project. This happened between 2010 to 2014. During the preliminary inquiry, what the sources are indicating that the CBI found evidence against Karti Chidambaram, based on which a fresh FIR has been registered against him. And after registering the fresh FIR, a search operation was initiated by the CBI this morning, and at least 7 locations in Tamil Nadu, Delhi and Mumbai. These places are being raided by the Central Bureau of Investigation. CBI has CBI is also saying at this point of time is that apart from Karti Chidambaram, there are certain companies, there are certain individuals who were involved in this alleged crime. They are also being raided. Earlier, CBI had raided Karti Chidambaram's residence in different cases, but now a fresh case, which means that fresh trouble for Karti Chidambaram.
So, the serious allegations here, and we understand that this is an allegation, Munish, that has been probed by the CBI for the last few months. It's been converted into an FIR. The allegation of him allegedly, facilitating visas for Chinese workers for a big conglomerate. Any details of when this was, which year it was?
Took place between 2010 to 2014. The exact details are yet to be known because once the search operation is over, then only CBI will officially comment on this case. But sources have told us that this crime particularly took place between 2010 to 2014. Karti Chidambaram was involved, and that is what the preliminary inquiry indicated to the officials of CBI, based on which the fresh FIR has been registered. Now, these places where the searches are being conducted, these are linked to Karti Chidambaram. There is a tweet also Karti Chidambaram has put out saying that how many times. But also CBI is saying that apart from Karti Chidambaram, there are other particular certain individuals who were involved in this crime. This also relates to a project of a foreign company. But particularly, what was the role of Karti Chidambaram, that is yet to be known. Akshita.
Okay, so we will, in fact, get you all the details that come in with regards to the CBI investigation. But what Munish is telling us is important because the BJP, no doubt, is going to latch on to this. The allegations against Karti Chidambaram is that he helped Chinese workers get visas, and this was for a big conglomerate back in 2010 when the UPA was in power. So these are very, very serious charges. We're awaiting an official statement from the CBI, but we're hearing right now, Munish, that there are multiple searches happening in Delhi, in Tamil Nadu, in Mumbai as well.
Yeah, well, Akshita, and in the coming hour, what we have been going to understand is that there are 2 to 3 more locations where CBI will start their search operation, because this is not only limited to Karthi, but certain projects, certain companies also. The CBI teams have been alerted in different states, and we have been given to understand is that these locations, 7 locations, may increase to 9 to 10 locations in the coming hour. And as far as the allegations are concerned, this relates to the facilitation of visa allegedly by Karti Chidambaram in lieu of a bribe. This foreign remittance took place between 2010 to 2014. And also, there are companies who are involved in this alleged crime. So we have to wait and watch that what the official details of the case are. But this is this has been confirmed by the sources in CBI that Karti Chidambaram is a prime accused in the case, and his premises are being raided by them.
We have any details of the FIR right now, Munish? You know, what you've told us also, it's important here that Karthi is the prime accused in this particular case. The FIR has been lodged based on evidence that they've gathered so far. What are the charges right now in that FIR? Is that known?
Yeah, well, there are charges of corruption in this particular case. The FIR has been registered after a preliminary inquiry was conducted by the Central Bureau of Investigation. There was a source-based information which the CBI registered, which the CBI received a few months back, and after receiving that particular information, there was a preliminary inquiry initiated. There were statements recorded by the CBI during that particular preliminary inquiry, and after founding evidence against Karti Chidambaram, this fresh FIR has been registered. The exact details are not yet, we are not yet aware of the exact details of this particular case. But yes, Karti Chidambaram has been named as an accused, and that is why his premises are being searched by the CBI.
Okay, so big breaking update that's coming in. For viewers who are joining us right now on this broadcast, the CBI is conducting searches at 7 locations, all linked to Karti Chidambaram. Serious allegations against him right now. Fresh FIR, a fresh case that haunts him now, with the Central Bureau of Investigation probing reportedly the involvement of Karti Chidambaram in facilitating visas to Chinese workers. And this was for a big conglomerate back in 2010. Extremely serious allegations this. No doubt it's going to lead to a big political fight as well. But Karti Chidambaram so far, Munish, has put out a one-line statement on Twitter saying that this must be a new record, referring to the times he's been searched by the CBI.
Not only by the Central Bureau of Investigation, Akshita, but also by the Enforcement Directorate. There were multiple occasions when the Enforcement Directorate conducted searches at the premises linked to Karti Chidambaram, his father P. Chidambaram. The CBI also have registered few cases against Karthi. Then also CBI had conducted searches. Remember, Karti Chidambaram was also arrested by the Central Bureau of Investigation in those cases. Now, a fresh case against Karti Chidambaram, and that is why I think he's indicating that he has lost counts, that how many times the CBI will be raiding him. But in this case, what is important is to tell the viewers that this is a fresh case. This is not related to INX Media case. This is not related to Aircel Max's case, but this is a completely fresh case against Karti Chidambaram, and the allegations in this case are serious. The charges of corruption and bribery. These are important details which we have picked up from our sources within the CBI, and the allegations are very serious. The exact details we'll be putting out for our viewers in some time, but we do know that there are locations, there are residences of Karti Chidambaram which are being raided by the CBI. This relates to the allegation that he was involved in facilitating visas to Chinese workers for a particular project. And after getting the details, the CBI registered the FIR, and now they are conducting searches.
Okay, so the FIR has been lodged in this particular case, based on which the CBI is conducting the searches as we speak. We're going to try and reach out to Karthi as well. He's not in any of these locations that are currently being raided. Karti Chidambaram is currently in London. So we are reaching out to him for some sort of an official statement of what he has to say. So far, he's put out a tweet in which he said, in fact, questioned this, saying, I've lost count. How many times has it been? Must be a record, referring to the fact that he's been raided time and again by these agencies in the INX Media case, in the Aircel Max's case, and now this latest 2010 case that's here now. The allegations against him is that back in 2010, during the UPA regime, Karti Chidambaram helped Chinese workers get visas for a certain amount of a bribe. We're awaiting an official statement from the CBI. We will also track what is the outcome of these particular searches, what kind of evidence, if any, do they actually manage to get. But what we're hearing is that these raids are happening in Tamil Nadu, in Delhi, in Mumbai. Karti Chidambaram has a residence in Delhi, which he shares with his father, P. Chidambaram. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, he has a residence in Chennai. He has a residence in Shivaganga, in his constituency. All of these reportedly are being searched. What you're seeing on your screens also is the footage that's emerged from his Chennai house, from Nungambakam, where currently you see officials there who are conducting these raids. And Karti Chidambaram has said exactly that. I've lost count. How many times has it been? Must be a record. There's no doubt, Munish, is going to lead to a fresh political showdown, because time and again, when the Chidambarams have faced the scrutiny of the agencies, the Congress has backed them to the hilt, saying that this is a political witch hunt.
Yeah, that is very true, Akshita. Earlier also, when P. Chidambaram was arrested, then Congress was backing the former finance minister. In case of Karti Chidambaram also, when he was arrested, then Congress was backing. And the Congress party has time and again come out against the central agencies, especially against CBI and ED, claiming that this is a political vendetta by the center. But as far as this case is concerned, remember, this is a fresh case. And trouble seems to be mounting, because not only these searches will be conducted at the residence, but also in coming days, Karti Chidambaram will be called for questioning. He will be summoned for questioning. And if there are any evidence against Karti Chidambaram, then he might be arrested once again by the CBI in the fresh case. They may approach the court, but these are the possibilities which Karti Chidambaram might be looking at, getting summons, getting arrested. These are something which are very serious in nature. And as far as the Congress party is concerned, or any other opposition party is concerned, time and again, they have blamed the center, they have blamed the Bharatiya Janata Party for these type of searches, for these type of cases, and they have called this as a political vendetta. And the Congress party may come out soon and issue a statement calling it a political vendetta.
If I'm not wrong, Munish, at this period, you've told us that this alleged scam, this alleged case happened actually in 2010. If I'm not wrong, at that point, P. Chidambaram was the Home Minister. Is there a question now also of P. Chidambaram's involvement? Is that something the CBI is going to look into?
Yeah, well, Akshita, this will be particularly the domain of the Central Bureau of Investigation. That if they want to expand the investigation, and if there is particular involvement of Finance Ministry or Home Ministry between 2010 to 2014. Certainly, Mr. P. Chidambaram will also be under scanner. But as of now, the case is against Karti Chidambaram, a son of P. Chidambaram. And if at all CBI gathers any evidence that there was involvement of his father, then only he will come under scanner. But CBI is, at this point of time, they are claiming that this case is against Karti Chidambaram, and that is why they are conducting searches, because he is prime accused in the fresh case which they have lodged against him.
Okay, Munish, we're going to track the latest updates that come in on this. The CBI is conducting searches as we speak. Karti Chidambaram has put out a one-line statement on Twitter saying, I've lost count of how many times this has happened. This must be a new record. We're going to try to get Karti Chidambaram here on India Today to speak about these searches that are being conducted. Extremely grave charges that he faces of having helped Chinese workers get visas. They were part of a mega conglomerate, reportedly happened in 2010 when the UPA was in power, when his father, P. Chidambaram, was the Home Minister. The latest reactions, the latest news breaks coming